computer.
Yay. And Deanne, before we get going, I know this is on record now. Can we get a group picture with you in the background?
I'm not sure how that works, sweetie.
Well, you put your face on the screen and my staff will go in front of the TV.
Okay, that sounds great.
We'll forget. So I always forget, so I want to do it now if we can.
Okay.
And everybody's awake. Okay, go to the screen. I COVID tested them all this morning, so we're all negative. Okay.
Vicky can still.
I feel like you should go here.
And it's such a bright day. Penny, how do I make my phone look good? Deanne, can you come over? We will. No, I'm joking.
Can I do what?
Well, I got the bright lights behind us, like it's so bright in Saskatchewan today.
Sorry.
Oh,
So anyways, just smile. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, now we can start.
so fun. I am so happy to be here, you guys. This is just an absolute blast. Okay, wait, I have to view speaker and share. Okay, so it all starts between your ears. You know, there is no one-stop shopping for empowerment. There's no one-stop shopping for beauty. There's no one-stop shopping for fulfillment. It's not just about coaching. It's not just about education. It's not just about skincare. It's not just about treatments. It's not just about nutrition, although I'm going to talk about that because leaving that out, I mean, we are in the wellness business. Leaving that out would be a mistake. It is multifaceted. And, you know, it's time to embrace self-care. I was literally the first person to marry empowerment with spa. I was on the board of Leading Spas of Canada for 8 years, and I can tell you that the other board members kind of looked at me like I had two heads. They didn't get it that we could do coaching CDs during a treatment. They didn't get it that if the staff understand their self-esteem better, that they are better equipped to care for their clients. They didn't get it. And now the big resorts are all asking me to please do self-care for their staff. And I know that has something to do with the extra stress that we've all been under, but it is really time to embrace empowered self-care. We are not going to master the rest of our lives in one day. Take a big, deep breath, because we get to work on mastering this day by taking charge of this moment. This is your life right here, right now. And everything you do the minute you step into that spa is your life legacy. You are creating a legacy. You have a chance to make a huge difference. Yes, a huge difference in skin, a huge difference in skin. And I'll show you a close-up. November 9, I'm going to be 67. Come on, see this? 67. And that's what happens when you have joy in your life, and we get to choose that with joy in your life, and you have the nutrition that your body really needs, and of course the beautiful skincare. So I ask you a question. When you were getting ready this morning, how many of you poured love on your face? How many of you appreciated your body? I've stood on a stage in front of 200 women and asked that question. How many of you looked in the mirror and noticed everything that was great about you? One 20-year-old raised her hand. We talk to ourselves worse than we would talk to anyone in our lives because we would never get away with it. What you say to yourself, you need to know, is more impactful than anything else that happens to you. because your brain believes it because it's the truth. How do you talk to yourself? So many people base their self-esteem based on comparing themselves to others. Oh, where they live is nicer than me, mine, their boyfriend it makes more money. I'm not in as good a shape. Come on. The only thing that matters is that you're better than you used to be. Write that down. The only thing that matters is that I'm better than I used to be. So Dr. Christiane Northrup, in her book, shares that when you attack yourself, your primitive brain is activated into fight or flight. So you are attacking and being attacked at the same time because you're the one attacking. And when your primitive brain goes into action and you don't act, cortisol and adrenaline gush into your body so that you can run from a tiger, but you don't run. And those hormones create inflammation. So what happens is that you end up with double aggression because you're the attacker and being attacked, and huge amounts of cortisol and adrenaline in your body because you're doing it all day, every day, most people. And inflammation equals disease. Wow. Now that's something we have control over. Isn't that cool? Bless you.
Thank you.
Well, we can't control the virus that's out there, although I certainly am a proponent of doing everything possible to control that. I want to be part of the solution, which is why I got my vaccines. I want to be part of the solution. I don't know all the answers. Nobody knows all the answers, but I know that 93% of the people that are getting sick now are not vaccinated. So that's one thing. But the other thing is the self-esteem virus. If every time you opened up your computer, a virus came on it, you'd do something about that. Wow. But when you're mean to yourself all the time and you have negative self-talk all the time, then that's creating just like a virus. And you have to remember that you can do something about that. So imagine this happens. Let's just use an example. Let's say that there's a young woman and she is in love with George and she wants to marry him. And she's quite evolved. So she meditates on that in the morning and she prays. And that's about 20 minutes. So for 20 minutes, she's saying, please, I really want this relationship to work. I just can see us having a family. And then she meditates and she sees it happening and she affirms it. 20 minutes. And then the rest of the day, it sounds like this. He doesn't love me. This is never going to work. Did you see that he didn't even return my text right away? And the universe looks down and they go, and it goes, God goes, that's my word. You can use whatever word you want. 20 minutes, 16 hours, 20 minutes of positive, 16 hours of focusing on it not working. She's not ready. Next. That's why we write goals down and then we don't achieve them because we don't believe it. We get what we believe, not what we write down. We get what we believe. And it takes space sustained repetition in order to lock that in. So we ask ourselves, am I worthy? Am I enough? Am I lovely? And it should be, I am worthy. I am enough. I am lovely. I'll tell you something, it's the empty can that makes the most noise. We're afraid to have a high opinion of ourselves because what if we were to be conceited? And little girls are raised. Did you know that little girls start to question their worth in grade 4? It is horrible. That's happening right now, grade 4, and boys not until high school. So We can control that. So just so you know, the negative programming, we all had some negative programming when we were raised, whether it was even the most well-meaning parents, the way they raise kids is by saying things like, you're bad if you do that, right? I had a little bit more of a challenge. I grew up in Utah, and if you weren't if you weren't blonde and Mormon, you got beaten up. And I had my front tooth knocked out when it was first coming in with a rock. I was riding my bike, and these boys came and their t-shirts were full of rocks, and I got stoned. I fell off my bike. I cut my leg badly on the chain. The bike was on top of me, and they were heading for my head, and the postman saved me that day. But what that told me was that I didn't fit in and I wasn't good enough. Why do you think I became a coach? Because I started to study empowerment because I needed it. And now it's at your fingertips. If you want to take a course or something like that, you can undo anything that happened to you. You recognize it. Unless it's happening right now, you forgive and move on. So every single one of you, do you remember when you were a little girl and you'd run into the room and you'd say, I can sing, I can dance. And then it kind of felt like somebody says, you can't do that, you're not good enough. And that gift, we were all born with a gift that you can perform at genius level, but those negative programs start to crush them and they get stuck. But you can peel off those stinky layers of onion one at a time. Just recognize what they are and decide, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? So there's two questions that I need you to answer when we're done today. One is, what do you esteem to do in this industry? And what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Okay, are you writing those down? Just going to get a little drink of water. Now, usually my cup matches my shirt, but I'm not paranoid or attached or anything like that. Today it doesn't. So you can change disempowering childhood programming. It's not, stop blaming other people for what's holding you back, because you can be responsible to change it. And as I said, we all have something. Forgive and let go. That's not supposed to be like that. That's funny. So who's driving your bus? I studied emotional intelligence, and of all of the emotions, the two emotions that are supposed to be, that are the most omnipresent, are love and joy. And how many people do we know that most of the emotions that they have are fear or shame or anger? Love and joy should be your overriding emotions. And I'm very blessed, because when I tell you this, you'll know you could trust me no matter what, because I did the emotional intelligence actual psychological test, and mine came back with love being so high that they almost rushed in to sit down and tell me and work with me on it, because they said, that's kind of dangerous. You can really be taken advantage of, So I got the love one. But who's driving your bus? Is it that child who was afraid and insecure, or is it your adult who has control? Who's driving your bus? Now, I would like you to turn to the person next to you and say, how do you do? My name is, and then say, I'm enough. I'll wait. Out loud. How did that feel? What did you say?
Someone said silly. Who said that? outside.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay, because if you decide to believe it, it won't feel silly, because you are enough. Because Creator doesn't make weeds. And I can't remember if I have a picture of a dandelion in here, but you pick a dandelion and look at it closely and tell me how ugly that is. It's not ugly. You are in the body that is necessary for you to fulfill your journey that you were meant to fulfill on this earth right here, right now. The perfect body for the journey that you were meant to fulfill. Wow. I'm not blonde. And if I hadn't been treated like that as a child, I wouldn't have spent the last 15 years coaching. I started studying I'm okay, you're okay when I was in my early 20s. And then, because I knew I needed it. And from there, I grew. And it doesn't mean that I don't, it doesn't mean that I don't care about how I look. This is what mirror, mirror on the wall, I accept my wrinkles, but keep them small. And that's your job. That I think everyone, even the most empowered women, really, really, really need to take care of themselves. Because guess what? Your face is your calling card, whether you like it or not. The human brain is repulsed by scale. I didn't make that up. The human brain, the subconscious brain analyzes everyone that comes in contact with us, everyone, instantly. Are they safe? Do I want to talk to them? Or even if it's the somebody you might be attracted to, am I attracted to that person? And when there's scaly skin, the human brain is slightly repulsed. So I mentioned that to B. Rhodes, who's the founder of the Rhodes Counseling College. And she said, oh, I guess it's probably because the human brain sees scaly skin as possibly reptilian. Isn't that interesting? So therein lies the reason why we need to make sure that we're taking care of our skin. Now, here's the secret. Anyone can have glowing skin. Anyone. You take off the dead skin and you hydrate it. Anyone can have glowing skin. It's not about the golden ratio of how many centimeters between your eyes. And I know that that's something that, that the human brain looks at as well. But the first thing it looks at is that, does that person glow? So it's time to put your oxygen mask on first. There's a reason why they say, in case of sudden loss of cabin pressure, put your oxygen mask on first. My mother used to say to me, you'll do no one good in the hospital. You'll do no one any good in the hospital. If you don't take care of yourself, you will do no one any good in the hospital. Wow. Make it a priority. Make it a priority. Ask yourself, every time you put something in your mouth, ask yourself, is this fuel or poison? Wow. Fuel or poison? We have so many people that we care about, and we share love, and we give it, but make sure that there's some left over for you. Now, a little bit about nutrition. Wine and sugar, it quiets the noise. There's a sort of an instant feeling of feeling good, but did you know that one of the number one things that inhibits your body from making collagen is sugar? Whoa. Alcohol is processed in your body as sugar. So instead of quieting the noise with things like these, which people have been doing more and more during the pandemic, let's get addicted to making a difference. I can't leave out the fact that the ground that our food is grown in has been overworked and overworked. So it's really hard to get the minerals that we need now. It's really hard to get, you have to have like 48 bowls of spinach to equal what one bowl of spinach was in like 1950. The nutrition of one bowl of spinach. So yes, I'm involved in a nutrition company too, because it's important. We need to detox. There's evidence that we are ingesting about the equivalent of a credit card of plastic a week. I mean, what food do we buy that's not wrapped in plastic? So much of it, and it's in the water. And so then, and I'm not here to scare you to death. I'm here to scare you to life. You can, there's things, easy things you can do to get rid of that. So Dr. Mark Rosenblum says our hormones don't drop because we age because our hormones drop, and our hormones are 25% lower than our parents, but it can be reversed. Now, this was about 10 years ago. It's higher than that now. The incidence of infertility because of toxicity is huge. In China, where things are very, very polluted, up to 85% of college students were tested as being infertile. So you need to think about toxicity. You need to start eating clean. And if anybody has questions about a solution for toxicity, I can help you with that. And detox has never been easier and faster. I recently discovered that. Oh, here we go. One of the reasons that people don't reach their goals is because they don't have enough fuel. So if you're struggling having the energy that you want, that you need in your work, it could just be because you're not getting enough fuel. So you need to look at what you're eating and ask yourself that question: is it fuel or poison? Yeah, here we go. You have to eat a lot of spinach to and I think that last sentence, I can't see it because there's a thing in front of it, but I think that last sentence didn't get, there you go. There you go. So you have 43 bowls of spinach to equal one bowl of spinach from back in 1953. That's crazy. And fuel or poison. I mean, really ground that picture into your mind, because it's so important. And when you start asking yourself fuel or poison, I'll tell you, you'll put the cookie down. So let's talk about, is that the cutest little thing or what? Little guy. Let's talk about how you feel right now about what's going on in your work. Does anyone have anything they want to share about how it feels right now to work in the spa industry? It's okay. This is a safe place. I'd love to hear if you have anything to share. Anything to share about what I've said so far, anything to share about what's going on. And one thing that it might be in the slides, one thing that I know for sure is that it seems like everyone who comes in and lays on a bed or sits in a chair wants to talk about COVID, right? Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. So if please feel free to just jump in and share something that if it comes up with you for you when we're talking. So let's talk a little bit about patience, because right now we really need to be patient. And staying present really helps that. So 99% of fear is future-based. Tell yourself sometimes when something comes up that makes you feel afraid and you're not really threatened, I'm not running from a tiger. What really is the worst thing that could happen here? We all have a little thread of a problem, and then we knit at it. Pretty soon we have a whole sweater. Your mind doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. And Every time you repeat something to yourself, it gets bigger because your mind thinks that it's happened again. She was rude to me. She was rude to me. I can't believe she was rude. Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear what she said to me? She was rude to me. Oh, so rude. Oh, over, and we repeat that stuff over and over and over again, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger in our head. But what this slide is really about is the fact that we need to stay present, and your life is right here, right now. Right here, right now is your life. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, right here. When you stay present, it not only reduces your stress, it actually makes you less tired. Now, when we do our treatments, we can be thinking about the laundry and the boyfriend and everything else that's going on in our lives, and that treatment ends up being like a wipe on, wipe off, wipe on. I know that's like this, right? Wipe on, wipe off. Or we can be present with that person, really care about their needs, and look at what it is that what are their goals with their skin, and ask them that question. Mrs. Jones, is there anything that you'd like to change about your skin? Or how about asking this question? What are you using that's working? Is there anything you're using that you're not really getting the kind of results that you want? Because our skin changes, and sometimes we just need to change it up. So we'll talk more about writing a prescription when we get to that, but I'm just telling you that if you stay present and focus on your client, you are going to be far less tired at the end of the day. It really, really works. Yeah, the ego wants to keep you safe. The ego wants to keep you safe. So it will stop you from taking chances because it doesn't want to be embarrassed, doesn't want you to be embarrassed. So just know that that's ego talking. Now, whenever we reach out and we want to try something new, that ego might say, oh, you can't do that. You'll look stupid. Oh, what if you fail? Well, there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. This is important. There's no such thing. That's what in NLP that they teach. There's no such thing as failure, only feedback. If you try something with a client and you offer them a product that you know is going to change her skin and she doesn't want it, it could be because she's just went on the internet and got burned by buying all kinds of products that don't work. And she thinks she needs to use them up, which, by the way, I advise them to use it up on their legs. I mean, you want your face to look better and those products aren't working, then let's talk about that. This is skin too. If we have preferences about what we want to happen, but we're not attached to the outcome, it's got to be exactly like that. I used to be so attached that my sisters couldn't put the capers on the smoked salmon when I was hosting a meal because it wouldn't be exactly the way I wanted it. Come on. I mean, talk about being in that. Is that because they're doing it wrong or because I'm insecure? It was because I was insecure and I was attached, had to be exactly that way. So who can share something that they've seen someone be attached to? Think about it, either yourself or somebody else. Nobody? Okay.
Taylor, anything?
That's fine. Okay, when we listen to people, there's 3 levels of listening. This comes from the coactive coaching model. There's 3 levels of listening. Level 1 is listening with a view to how you're going to retort. That means that somebody is talking and you're thinking, oh yeah, I know something about that. I'm going to tell them that, I actually experienced that one-on-one, right? That's listening at level 1. I call that ego listening or caveman listening. Level 2 is listening with a pure desire to hear, what is that person trying to tell me? No ego. What is that person trying to tell me? Now, I want to ask you a question. If you walked into a room and you and I were having a conversation, we were going to have a meeting, and you sat down and you started to tell me your concerns about what you felt you needed to know in order to be successful in the spa. And I leaned forward and I listened and I repeated back some of the things that were a challenge to you. I offered some solutions. I asked you how you felt about what was going on. And I was just there for you. How would that feel? The opposite being that somebody's looking around, their eyes are moving around, and their answer is that they're trying to just look smart by the way they answer. You wouldn't feel like you were taken care of, would you? Because you wouldn't be. Listening at level 3 is listening at level 2, but with pure intention. It's as if you're at 10,000 feet. And that's what I always say that coaches do. Because when right now I can't see the forest for the trees. I'm talking about my problem, but I'm right in the middle of it. And my coach is at 10,000 feet and can see the surface of the water and the current underneath, because they're using their intuition. So listening at level 2 is listening with a pure desire of what the client wants to say, or anyone in your life wants to say. And then level 3 is also just being open, because what comes on your heart is your intuition, and that is the outside bigger energy feeding you. So right now we really need to be empathetic. Empathy is about connecting to another person. It's not about being right, and it's not about having coming up with a solution. A lot of people, oh, I just wrecked my car. It's gonna, the insurance, the deductible is gonna be $300. Oh my God! And you say, well, at least you didn't total it. That's not being empathetic. That's making you look smart because you have an answer. That's not being empathetic. Teresa Wiseman's 4 attributes of empathy are the ability to take the perspective of another person and recognize that their perspective is their truth. So somebody comes in and says, my husband's in the hospital with COVID, and he's on a ventilator. That's their truth, and all you need to say is something like, thank you for sharing that with me. I'm really, really sorry. How do you feel? How are you doing? That's it. Don't come up with an answer. And by the way, I just lost my publisher. I'm the author, the collaborative author of 8 best-selling books, and my publisher was in Mexico with her fiance, and they both got COVID. And yes, they're not vaccinated, and he died just recently. He was in a coma for 18 days, just awful. And I needed to be empathetic with her and just be there for her and be a part of the group chat that was supporting her. One of the attributes of being empathetic is staying out of judgment, because it's not up to us to decide whether they're right or wrong. How does that serve me? The only time we need to judge is whether we're in a relationship with someone and we decide if this is okay to be, that this is how I want to share my life, but not because I come to you and say, oh, I just decided to not only work out, I worked out, by the way, this morning at 7 a.m. I decided to work out 7 days a week for 2 hours. Well, that's stupid. Staying out of judgment. Recognize the emotions of other people because that's real for them. Those emotions are real for them. And being able to communicate, I understand something like, I understand how that you're afraid. I understand that hurts. Wow. Thank you for I really appreciate that you shared that with me. Do you see the difference between just trying to be right and smart and have a witty retort than to just looking people in the eye? There's a saying, I like me best when I am with you. If I like myself better when I'm with you, I am going to be with you every chance I get. I'm going to book you to do my facial. I'm going to book you to do my feet so we can talk. And if I feel ignored or there's no real connection and no real caring, then I may as well do my own feet. Empathy is a choice because I need to connect to a part of me that has felt that pain. You're saying, I know what it's like down there. I don't know what to say, but I'm glad you told me. That's a really good sentence. I know what it's like down there. I don't know what to say. I know what it's like when things like that happen. I don't know what to say, but I'm glad you told me. Because real empathy is sharing the emotion as well. And that was from Brene Brown. Sympathy is trying to fix it. Oh boy, that's bad. You should da 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 da. An empathetic response does not begin with, well, at least, like I said, well, at least you didn't total the car. And putting a silver lining on the problem is something that we do to make you feel better, not the other person. Wholehearted person qualities. The courage to be imperfect. I have the courage to be imperfect. I have the courage to take chances, and sometimes I'll fail. I have the courage to reach out to people and offer them things, and if they don't decide to take it, that's their prerogative. And 99% of the time, it's not about me. And if it is, then I have learned something. I've gotten feedback, not failure. A wholehearted person has enough compassion to be kind to themselves, which allows them to be kind to others, and has connection. They're authentic. Wow, to be willing to let go of who they thought they should be in order to be who they are. Wow. I want you to look forward 1 year, and it was the best year of your life. What does that look like? Who's in your life? What does your health, your fitness look like? That's really important. Not only to look forward and ask yourself, what does that look like? And then ask yourself, why is that important to me? Why is it important to me to have a loving relationship, to make my relationship with my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend better? Why is it important to me to have energy and be fit and fabulous? Why is that? How does that make me feel? Because I can tell you, if you write that down and you write down why it's important and you write down how it makes you feel, you are far more likely to reach that goal, far more likely. And then ask yourself, what capabilities do I need to make that change? If I want to be more compassionate, self-compassionate to myself, and I was raised to have very low self-esteem, I may need a coach. If I want to be fit and fabulous and I'm a long way from that and I don't know exactly what to do, I may need some nutrition counseling, and I may need some personal trainer. My personal trainer lives in Utah and she's on Zoom Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. And my daughter lives in Eugene, and the three of us do it. It's just about killed me this morning, but I'm here. Yeah, it's really interesting. What does my best year of my life look like? Why is that important to me? How does it make me feel? And what new capabilities do I need to get there? That comes from the Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins Clarity Tool. So a wholehearted person fully embraces vulnerability. They believe what made them vulnerable made them beautiful. Now, Brene Brown has so much science. She's a researcher behind this. Vulnerable is beautiful. Vulnerable is not stupid and dumb. It's beautiful. I want to be around somebody who's vulnerable. I don't want to be around somebody who's perfect. How boring is that? You know that that's just ego talking. So the three keys to success are technical knowledge, which you're getting, you get from Kim and Emmy, and you're getting with our product knowledge we're going to do. And the key to success is psychological and spiritual mastery and biological balance and fuel. So we're going to do, this isn't very long now. We're just going to talk a little bit about you and combating burnout. So we have a choice. We can decide to be responsible for our wellness, our emotions. I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to be 100%. I catch myself in negative self-talk, but I catch myself and I just say, cancel. I am enough. I am enough. Or we can call the wham-ambulance. And you know what? Unfortunately, too many women have been taught that talking about what's wrong with them is how to get attention. Dr. Christiane Northrup was in a restaurant having dinner. She got up to go to the washroom. She passed a table full of women. And when she passed and when she came back, she couldn't believe what she heard. She said they were having an organ recital. My liver is doing this and my uterus is doing that. And they were all talking, the whole conversation was about what was wrong with them. Do you know anyone like that? I'm sure you do, because I certainly do. They were taught that that's how they get attention, is to talk about what's wrong with them. Or we can be responsible. And I know when somebody says, oh, I'm going to give you more responsibility, it kind of feels like, oh, I don't want more. Oh, but that when you say that it makes me able to be responsible, that means that I'm able to be in charge. I'm able to be strong. For as long as you see yourself as a victim, you have no control. It's easier to say it's not my fault, it's my parents' fault, it's my boyfriend's fault, it's because of my race. What or who are you blaming for not being happy and fulfilled? My goodness. I'm not saying you're bad because you're doing it. I'm saying you're normal. And the people that are above normal have recognized it and let it go. And I'm not saying that if it's still happening, that you just live with it, find a solution. But usually it's things in the past. And a lot of times we don't even realize where it comes from. So we spoke about emotions, and look at every emotion has a vibration. Dr. Sir David Hawkins studied the vibration of emotion. And every emotion has a vibration. Look how high joy and love are. It's almost at sainthood. When you're having a hard time, call someone up and pour some love on them. Help one of your colleagues. Compliment them. Compliment your client. Pour love on them. I'm telling you, it will raise your vibration and make you feel better. And if there is, when I allow one, maybe two people to buy a series of facials from me. They have to be, they have to buy 10. And the reason I do that is because I keep my hands in it. You better believe that there is love going on their skin every moment that I touch them. Love. And not one person has bought one series and not another. I have to say no. They want to buy, and they're $189 each treatment. And I have to say no. Why? They're getting results, and they feel so loved. I was teaching a coaching course, and there was an 83-year-old lady on, and she said, thoughts or prayers, And I said, Emily, tell us what you mean by that. She goes, if you think the only time God in the universe is listening to you is when you're on your knees, I have something else to tell you. So that's just a little reminder that the universe is listening. The universe is listening to your self-talk, to what you believe. And what's great about all these negative things that are going on is that the biochemistry of pleasure counteracts the biochemistry of aging. This is actually a medical fact that happiness heals. So if you need help, know that talk to somebody. And I'm going to open up, and at the end, there's a slide. If any of you would like to have a free half-hour coaching about how you feel, and I'm telling you that most people say yes. I'm a keynote at All Body Laser, and many of the students go for it. Why not? If there's one thing that we can resolve that will take you to the next step, I would love to spend a half an hour with you. Know that fear and shame grows in the dark. Brene Brown says that it's actually an epidemic, women and shame. When you shine a light on the troubles, and talk to a friend about it, it shines a light on it. And gremlins don't live in the dark. They run in the light. Other people can see what's happening from 10,000 feet and be more clear with you and help you get clarity, because often we can't see the forest for the trees. And when we make a goal, being held gently accountable, and you can do that with each other. If somebody decides that they're going to raise the bar at their level of being an esthetician by making sure that they're recommending product to every person with integrity. I didn't use the S word. I didn't say sell. I said recommending product to your clients that will help them meet their needs. Then you can hold each other accountable and report to each other. I did it. I did it. It doesn't matter whether they say yes or not. It matters whether you play full out, find their needs and fill their needs. That's what a 4-star, 5-star professional does. And you better believe that the people that work in the Fairmont, that's part of their protocol. It's not just an add-on. There's a neural pathway in the brain that actually is a stimulation for an automatic response to an action. So the minute I get my toothbrush out, I naturally walk into my bedroom and open the blinds. It's just a habit. There's a neural pathway. And you can grow new neural pathways. And here's what's great about that. This is why I want to tell you this. You can grow new neural pathways, and it actually will make the new habit as easy as the old habit was. The old habit disappears and a new habit happens. In the book, Habit Power by Charles Duhigg, he says that if you want to go running, put your shoes right by your bed, get up. For the first 2 weeks, you're going to have to force yourself to run. But when you come back, have a piece of chocolate. The endorphins from the run will fill your body. The endorphins from the chocolate will make you happy. And after 2 weeks, you won't need the chocolate. It'll be a habit. You'll wake up and your body will start to secrete those endorphins even before you run. Whoa. Yeah, shame is an unspoken epidemic, and it's the secret behind many forms of broken behavior. So I really, really, really want you to be kind to yourself. Everyone has symptoms of anxiety and depression. And I know right now this is something that's really going on, but it's only when they are an overriding symptom that it becomes a problem. When I took psychology, the professor, the first day, he said, now I want you to know that every single one of you have symptoms of every malady we're going to talk about. But it's only when those symptoms are your overriding personality that it becomes a syndrome. See the difference? So don't be afraid if you have symptoms of anxiety in men, and they're different in men and women. In women, they're more likely to be feelings, worthlessness, guilt, fatigue. But if it's there, know it's there and get help for it. If it's a problem in your life, get help for it. But also know that those kind of feelings are going to come and go in all of us. So it's time for us to shed our shell, because take the next step. Take the next step. And I hope that we can come on again. I know that we're going to come on again very soon, because we can't possibly get everything done in one sitting. You'll be dizzy. But yeah, shed your shell and be open to sharing with us when we meet again exactly what you've learned. What steps have you taken? What did you write down that was your best year of your life 1 year from today? How did you feel about that? What do you need to learn? What capabilities do you need in order to get there? And I can help you with this if you want to do that half hour, to make a plan, to write a goal, and then act. How do you want to feel? Take an honest assessment of where you're at. Why do you want to feel that way? What capabilities do you need to get there? We don't get what we want, we get what we believe. I think I'll leave this whole bringing the subconscious for later. If we have time, I'll talk later about exactly how goal setting works. It really should be skin, C-A-R-E, cosmetics, applied, respectfully, enhance. Teach your clients to apply their skincare with love. It will make a difference. I didn't make that up. It'll make a difference. I teach emotional freedom technique, where we tap the Chinese acupressure points. And first we let go of negative beliefs, and then we tap them in. And that's something that we can work on later too, if you want. Right now, it's not easy in a lot of ways, but if you're irritated by every rub, how will you ever get polished? So we can just keep glowing. So here we are. I'm more than happy to do a half-hour call with any one of you, a confidential half-hour call, so that we can just take this to the next level. Does anyone have any questions, comments? No? Okay, then let's just take a little bathroom break and say 10 minutes. Is that okay, Kim?
Perfect.
Okay, bathroom break. We'll come back and do some product knowledge.
I knew that was coming. My hand hurts, Deanne.
Your hand hurts. What happened?
Well, I have a broken thumb.
You have a broken thumb?
No, I for so long,
Oh,
so fast.
well, I'm glad. You know what? I'm honored that you felt you wanted to write it down, and you will, the recording will really help. I should stop the recording for now.
Yep.
Okay. Do you see my screen and me, or just the screen?
Just you.
Okay. It says that it's sharing my screen. That's really interesting. And you don't see the PowerPoint.
Our IT person's coming.
Sorry, you don't see the PowerPoint, huh?
No.
Huh. Share a screen.
And normally with the other train, he's standing right there. So it's like having her here. Deanne, you don't get to have lunch with us though.
Oh, did you? Oh man, that's the best part.
Well, we didn't order healthy like we normally do when you were here.
I love it. Okay, now let's see. This should start now. Now there we go. That works, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Touche is really a beautiful, beautiful line, and it's a beautiful line because it has so much integrity. There's so much love that was put into each of these serums. Barbara Schumann is the daughter of Wilma Schumann, and Wilma was the first person that ever brought serums to North America. So obviously that goes back over 50 years, but it was an amazing discovery for her to be able to take her mother's experience and augment it. And let's just talk a little bit about serums. Serums are like the pay dirt of skincare. Moisturizers are like a casserole. There's fat in them. There's a little bit of a lot of ingredients. Serums are like your vitamin supplements. They're high percentages of active ingredients. So you're getting more. So serums are important because they are about the ingredient, the formula, and the delivery system. The ingredient, the formula, the delivery system. All together, that's what makes them so special. So one of the things you need to know about skincare is there is a difference between whatever's out there and GMP products, okay? GMP stands for Good Manufacturing Procedures. It means that it's made in a lab where not only are the third-party studies testing, and that's up to the developer, which we do, and so does Sia Botana, testing for effectiveness, but it is a sterile environment that is controlled in the United States by the FDA. So in whatever country, by the controlling power that holds people responsible for for what they're doing. Now, products that are not GMP can be stirred up in someone's kitchen. There was recently asbestos found in an all-natural skincare product. There was recently rat droppings found in an all-natural product. That's not going to happen in a GMP product. The labs that are used in the United States are inspected by the FDA. When I decide that I need more of a serum, there's minimum quantities of thousands and thousands and thousands of ounces each time. Why? because the entire plant, the entire area has to be sterilized and start over. So the number one fraud in skincare is the number one fraud on the internet is skincare. Gordon Torretta wanted to work with some affiliates who have groups of, of databases that would just blow out the numbers for the online sales for Touche. And they asked him for a $10,000 deposit in trust. Why? Because so many companies are creating skincare that does not have active percentages of what they say is in it. For instance, the Trixil 3000 in the lifting serum can reduce the overall area of wrinkles by 44% in 54 days at 3%. It has to be at 3% of the total ingredients in order for that to happen. If it's not 3%, it's not going to work. So these companies say that they have these ingredients in it, but they're not at performing amounts. I can tell you right now, as a spa consultant, I have helped many companies create their own private label products. And what you pay for, you get what you pay for. If you think that you go into a hotel and you see an Aveda shampoo on the tub and it's exactly the same as what you buy in the salon, I highly doubt it, because I know how little they're willing to pay for what goes in those bottles. And it doesn't mean that it's not made by them. It just means that it has to be, that ingredients cost money. So the difference between spa products and that are high level like this and whatever's found out there, there's a huge difference. Does that mean that you can only buy it in spa now? Well, nowadays, everything's on the internet. We can't control that. But just know that you want to recommend highly performing GMP products. And also, there is a website called Skin Deep, and you can take any of our ingredients and load them into Skin Deep, and it'll tell you that they're not toxic. That's a huge difference, huge difference. So you're very, very fortunate that the spa has chosen products that all meet that criteria. I speak about the marine collagen. The collagen is a very, very specialized product. Did you know that collagen is used to heal burns? In hospital, if somebody has a third-degree burn, they put tilapia skin over the top of it. Not only is it highly unlikely to have an allergy to, it protects so that the skin underneath can grow, and it also releases peptides. And peptides are amino acids that are necessary to regrow collagen. I actually am taking an oral collagen now that is amazing, but that's a totally different story. That's part of my nutrition thing that I'm really excited about. But adding collagen topically gives your skin some of the peptides that it needs to regrow collagen. But it has, each product has its masters. It has its masters in hydration. A dry skin is hungry, and a dehydrated skin is thirsty. So for somebody who needs to hold moisture in their skin, who wants to add moisture to certain areas of their face, this is the perfect product. It's a non-occlusive barrier. It effortlessly reduces transepidermal water loss. It helps to protect the skin from the environment. For instance, when you're in an area that has sub-below freezing temperatures, right next to your skin should be something that, like collagen, to as a barrier. We've even used it on little tiny babies that had windburn. So it contains soluble collagen, vitamin B, and glycerin. And this glycerin is a humectant and it helps to moisturize. So what does it do? It hydrates. I wear it heavy as a mask at night, and I find it very, very effective to hydrate my skin. I wear it in areas that are needy. And for instance, for me, I don't need it in the summer. My skin is a little bit oily, but some people use it all the time. The next product is our oxygen serum. The oxygen serum is unbelievable. I can share pictures with Kim of before and after. One of Gordon's receptionists in his spa had some breakout from wearing a mask. See, here's the thing. The number one spot of bacteria in our body is in our mouth. And we are, sorry, I'm getting a call again from the ESI show people. They're really wanting me to be in their show. I need to call them back. Not right now. But the number one place of bacteria is in the mouth. And then we're breathing it out and keeping it warm under that mask. It's crazy. Where people are getting rashes, they're getting, why? Because that bacteria grows there. Did you know that the Proboni bacteria that causes acne is anaerobic? It can't tolerate oxygen. That's why we use high frequency on breakouts, because it's stuffing oxygen into the skin. So this is very, very important, because people who are getting little rashes and little breakout from their mask, they don't have acne. They don't need sulfur and they don't need benzoyl peroxide and tea tree and all of those things every day on their face. They just need to kill the bacteria without harming the skin. So the oxygen serum is absolutely amazing as a moisturizer as well. It contains sodium hyaluronate. Sodium hyaluronate can hold up to 1,000 times its weight in water. So it's really, really hydrating. It binds water. As a matter of fact, your eyeballs are made out of sodium hyaluronate. If you were to sadly die in a fire, your eyes are the last to go, because it's the most moist part of your body, and that's sodium hyaluronate. Oxygen, the reason that oxygen serum is able to kill bacteria is because it delivers oxygen. So there's a difference between being oxygenating, which is simply, I can rub my skin and make it red. I can put paprika or cinnamon on it and it stimulates the microcirculation. That's oxygenating. The difference is that this is actually delivering oxygen into the skin. There's a patented medical ingredient called FeeFlow. If you were low on hemoglobin and you were in the hospital, you would be given FeeFlow intravenously, which would be delivering more oxygen into your body. So FeeFlow is like an empty cell that is the best known carrier of gas known to man. It actually delivers oxygen into the skin. Now, why is oxygen important to the skin? At the bottom of the epidermis is the basal layer, where the capillaries feed the production of new cells. The more oxygen available to the new cells, the faster the skin renews itself. So it helps the skin to function younger. It makes this more oxygen to the skin, makes the skin brighter. So it is proven in the studies on FeeFlow that it increases the partial pressure of oxygen at the basal layer by 20%. It also, not only does it increase the oxygen level at the basal layer, it reduces wrinkles and delivers oxygen. So this thing is amazing. A lot of men like it as their only moisturizer. And yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I find that it has a bit of a dewy look. which is just great. I just love how it makes my skin feel. I love it under my makeup, and I love how it smells. I tend to, whenever you use any product, ladies, on a client that smells good, tint it over their face before you apply it. So it would be like this, and then you apply it so that they smell it, because that makes the whole treatment better. It makes it, I just love it. When I, like, let's say I was going to be composing something, writing something for all afternoon, I would have the oxygen serum next to my computer, and I would tent it, inhale it, and apply during the day, because it's like walking next to a waterfall in the mountains. You're smelling ozone. It's real oxygen. It's like after the rainfall, you're smelling ozone. So yes, it works on broken out skin. Yes, it works on stress skin. It works on sallow skin. It has a glycolipid that is a sugar, that is a sugary fatty acid. So that's also hydrating. Sodium hyaluronate, I mentioned, and vitamin B. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing popular product. Just take a drink. Now, caviar serum, and that's an old picture. That was our first packaging. Caviar serum is for hungry skin only. So before I go on to caviar serum, let's talk about serums and why they need to be changed up. Now, at my age, my doctor offered me bioidentical hormones. So what that means is just plants that mirror hormone. And he says, do not apply it to the same part of your body every day, because your body will stop recognizing it. So somebody has, their skin is down here, and they go to the spa, and we put them on a regime, and their skin gets better. And most people keep their clients on the same regime, and then they age and their skin gets worse. Here's the problem. If you don't change up your client's skincare, they will not continue to get results. You need to change out the serums. Yes, the serum will last in their cupboard. It's in an airtight bottle. In the summertime, they would go to oxygen, to lightening serum, et cetera, et cetera. In the wintertime, the caviar and collagen. Change it up. Their skin, it wakes the skin up. And if someone comes to you and has a good treatment, and I didn't make this up, this is a L'Oreal study. If someone comes to you and has a good treatment, there's a 40% chance that they'll return to you. If they go home with one product, it jumps to 90% chance that they come back to you. The olfactory memory is the strongest memory in the brain. And every time they smell that product, they think of you. And every time they get results, they think of you. This is your legacy. It's not selling. Are you going to play full out and really make a difference to this client? Or are you just going to do wipe on, wipe off? I mean, it really, and if they say no, SW, SW, SWN. Some will, some won't. So what next? It's not about you. They didn't reject you. They have too much product, or they don't have enough money, period. It's not your problem. Next. You know, we're here to make a difference, and we need to change out their serums if they are going to continue to have results. Do not keep them on the same product all the time, and do not expect 100% results. Don't expect to get the best results possible with the moisturizer only, period. Okay, caviar. Did I sound passionate about that? Caviar. caviar is salmon eggs. I tried to get my husband to use the caviar serum, and he said, I'm going to need some Melba toast with that. No, not for eating. It is salmon eggs. So I got to study the use of DNA applied to the skin in Switzerland, where they first discovered it. And the DNA is a macromolecule. It's more than 10,000 Dalton weight, which means that it can't immediately go into the skin. But it's so high in protein that your collagenase and your elastase that digest collagen and elastin say, shh, what's that? And they attack the DNA molecule and it opens up. And then all of the nucleotides, all of the amino acids and essential fatty acids that are part of the combustion of new life can penetrate to the basal layer, and it gives the skin a hit of energy. Very, very important to recognize that this is helping the skin to function younger. It's giving the skin vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and fatty acids. Wow. In addition to caviar, it has vitamin E, sodium hyaluronate, and jojoba oil in it. It's really beautiful. It really is beautiful. I love to use it in the wintertime. Questions about collagen or oxygen or caviar? What is your favorite?
Emmy has a question.
You did mention about the sallow skin. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. How can you define sallow skin?
Skin. Well, some people would define sallow skin as skin that is lacking in circulation, lacking in color, dull. So when I went to Toronto one time to train, I was there for a week, and the only serum that I brought with me was oxygen, because I knew, there's 25% less oxygen in the cabin of an airplane. So I knew that I wanted to apply it during the flight, and I forgot to bring anything else. And I used oxygen day and night for 1 week. My skin was bright. It just looked alive. So sallow skin is typically low circulation. It can be defined as, sallow can also be defined as skin with a lot of yellow undertone. But in any event, making the skin brighter is really beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. You always have good questions. Lightening serum. So there's 3 ways to lighten the skin. One is to plane off the top, because the top of the dark spot is always the darkest. One is to bleach it, and one is to inhibit the formation of melanin at the basal layer, so to inhibit the melanocytes. The lightening serum topically lightens and inhibits melanocytes. It's a high potency natural, a combination of high potency natural extracts. It evens out the skin tone. It has, it noticeably reduces hyperpigmentation. Now you're gonna laugh. Okay, with a Spanish background, for some reason my knees are darker than my legs. So the last thing I wanted was my knees to get more sun, and I, whenever I'm working in the garden, I kind of sit and I put my legs out so I'm tanning at the same time. And I used the lightening serum on my knees, and it really made a difference. They're almost all the same color now. So yeah, it's good for hyperpigmentation, and it's good for lightening skin. I have a woman whose ethnic background caused her to have pigment dark circles. Like it wasn't thin skin like mine, because my skin's very thin there, and anything any toxicity or tiredness or stress makes my skin, trust me, I used the Puff Away eye gel this morning twice. Makes dark circles. That's a different kind of dark circle. This one was pigment. Oh my gosh, I saw her 2 weeks later and she looked awake. It was just amazing. Now, we wouldn't use it on the mobile eyelid, but she used it on the orbital bone and underneath her eye. Totally brightened it up. So it uses as a strawberry begonia extract, as well as a, it's hard for me, a mulberry. But the key ingredients are the kojic acid, which topically lightens, and the AR-butane, which inhibits the formation of melanin at its base. But this is also high in vitamin C. So it's important to recognize that there's enough vitamin C in here to call this a vitamin C serum as well. And we know every single one of you should be on a vitamin C serum of sorts. Vitamin C is very, very important. It has a qualitative and quantitative effect on pigment. There's less quality of pigment, there's less quantity of pigment. So it's very, very important that we have vitamin C on our skin. So the vitamin C helps the pigment, the kojic acid topically lightens, and the AR-butane not only lightens, but it inhibits formation of melanin at its base. Don't mix the lightening serum with oxygen serum at the same time, because oxygen will nullify and oxidize the vitamin C. Nothing will happen. It won't bubble and boil on your face or anything. It just won't be very effective. The C part of the serum will be less effective. I've done that accidentally before, and nothing happened. I just know that I'm not getting the C that I want. Now, revitalizing serum. True story. I gave this to my doctor for Christmas. I sent her a few serums. And a couple months later, Dr. Cox called me and she said, oh my gosh, my husband had precancerous cells on his face. And because of COVID, they postponed removing them again and again. So when I got this revitalizing serum, I had him use it because you said I read it and she said, and it says that it's an exfoliant. She goes, Deanne, they're gone. They're gone. The precancer cells on my husband's face are gone. Now, do you think she knows what she's looking for? Yeah. Revitalizing serum, the reason that there is a horse on the front is because it has mare's milk. There's a little tiny horse in Europe whose milk is more nutritious than cow's milk and a little higher in lactic acid. Now, when it comes to alpha hydroxy acids, the glycolic from sugar is the tiniest molecule, so it's the most aggressive. And they get bigger as we go to malic acids, citric acid, etc. But lactic acid is one of the larger molecules. That's why it's so safe and you can wear it all night long. Now, lactic acid, alpha hydroxy acids break the links that hold the cells down. And then the breaks the links that hold the cells down. And then they've added vitamins, they've added papaya and pineapple enzymes to digest the dead skin cells. You know how when you use a glycolic, oftentimes there'll be a lot of flakiness the next day, or retinoid, there'll be flakiness the next day. That's not going to happen with this, because this is actually going to digest those dead skin cells that have been loosened. So it has some pomegranate in it, and as well as the pineapple and papaya enzymes, which are papain and bromelain. It also has some vitamin B and vitamin D, and the mare's milk and the lactic acid. Now, here's what's beautiful about this. If you have a client that you want to do a peel on, but they have cuperose, and their skin is really sensitive, or they've just had laser or microdermabrasion or something but you know that they need to peel, or they're highly sensitive, know that alpha hydroxy acids create heat. So typically when you do you use a peel, it's going to make the face go red. This doesn't do that. So you can use it in your treatment by painting it on the skin as an exfoliant and then dampening a gauze and keeping it damp for a few minutes, and it will exfoliate the skin. I have never, ever had anyone go red. Trust me, I've had people go red with other peels, and I'm kind of like this as I'm using my ozone mask and all other things to try and cool the skin down. So yeah, it's really beautiful. So what is it? It's an exfoliant. How do you use it? At night. Usually I start people, I have them use it every day for a week and then go to 3 times a week and stay out of the sun when you're using it. I don't, that doesn't mean that you can't, you have to use sunscreen. Can anybody tell me why we need to use sunscreen when we use an alpha hydroxy acid of any kind? I know you know.
They should know.
Girls,
Okay.
nobody knows.
Or they don't want to be wrong, and that's just your ego telling you that, oh, I might be wrong. So, and that's okay, because I get it. Okay, so here's the skin. The thinner the skin is, because alpha hydroxy acids take away layers of skin, that's how they improve wrinkles. That's how they improve hyperpigmentation. The thinner the skin is, the easier it is for the sun to damage the melanocytes. Now, there are some products that the combination, the sun, like when you're on certain antibiotics, there's a contraindication and it causes pigment, there's a reaction, but that's not it. With this, it's just that the thinner the skin is, the easier it is for the sun to get to the melanocytes and cause damage. Once the melanocytes are damaged, they are always damaged. You can exfoliate those clumped cells, but the second any sun is and sometimes just light is exposed to them again, it'll come back. So that's why we're very careful to stay out of the sun when we're using alpha hydroxy acids. And that's one thing that I saw in some kids that were on Proactiv. It was very high in glycolic, and they were going in the sun, and they're just this massive hyperpigmentation on their face. That's not going to go away. That's awful. Okay, lifting serum. The lifting serum is a combination of vitamin C and peptides. Now, peptides cause the skin to grow more collagen. They're based on amino acids, and they cause the skin to grow more collagen. The key, here's the thing, usually you will get a vitamin C serum and a peptide serum, but they typically haven't been married in the same bottle to this degree. The Matrixyl 3000, I have a third-party study that shows that it's a combination of palmitoyl oligopeptide and tetrapeptide. Together, it boosts it can reduce the overall area of wrinkles by 44% in 54 days. That's a combination of the width, the depth, and the number of the wrinkle. It also contains vitamin C. Now, ascorbic acid is an alpha hydroxy acid, so it can be slightly exfoliating, but 4% or more ascorbic acid causes the skin to grow more collagen. But you can't just keep increasing the amount of ascorbic acid because it's an acid. So if you keep going higher and higher and higher, it'll burn the skin. So what they've been able to do is they've been able to take the ascorbic acid and to graft it with other ingredients so that it is more active. And it's up to 50 times more active than vitamin C on its own. It also has some algae in it and some pomegranate extract, and glucosamine, which is a sugar molecule that helps to bind moisture. This one is great because it's in, all of them are in a liposomal delivery system that helps the number one job of the skin is to keep stuff out. So if I just mix up ingredients and put it on my face, not much is going to happen. But in this case, because it's in a formula where the peptide can wiggle between the cells and plant the ingredients into the dermis where it needs to make that difference, where collagen and elastin are born, it can make a dramatic difference. So that's the difference between just an all natural organic product with no peptides or anything in it, or a serum like this. The Soothing Serum is fantastic for dark circles and puffiness. And it comes in a roller bottle like this. And it's a roller bottle so that it can work on the lymph drainage. I use it on my whole face when I use it. I start at the top and I do a lymph drainage from the inside out. And then I do it about 3 times around my eye. And then I drain down the profundus to the terminus. So it contains aloe vera and need to put my glasses on. It contains a peptide that is a stimulant, which helps to stimulate the microcirculation under the eyes. And it contains hesperidin, which is a vein tonic. So that vein tonic helps to work on the darkness, but it also is proven to help to work on rosacea and dilated capillaries. So it also has cucumber and I said palmitoyl peptide, sodium hyaluronate, licorice, and aloe vera. Yeah, it's lovely. It's a lovely sensitive skin serum for the whole face, and it's excellent for the eye area as well. I think that's it. We did, everybody. We do have the gold and peptide eye masks as well that we sell as a gift with purchase right now with the Soothing Serum. It's very dramatic, the difference in, you know what your skin looks like after you take a Band-Aid off? It's so plump. Oh my gosh, the skin is so smooth and plump when you take this off. It's amazing. So when people sit down to have a manicure or pedicure, we ask them if they want to have an upgrade of an eye lift treatment. The reason we do that, partly because they're going to see great results. But if I put my feet in your bowl to have a pedicure, you better not be talking to me about the wrinkles around my eyes, right? That's not going to happen. But if I put my feet in the bowl and then you hand me a tray and I do my own eye lift, you're going to customize that closing when you finish and I take it off myself. You're going to hand me a serum and I'm going to put on my own serum afterwards, but we're going to customize that to meet my needs. Now we have a whole conversation about skincare. I've gone into hair salons where people were having their color done, and I've done the eye lift, and every single one of them bought a $100 serum. No problem. Why? They're just sitting there anyway. So it works really, really well. So does anyone have any questions for me? Is this a good time for lunch, Kim?
No.
Not yet? Half an hour?
Yeah, half an hour.
Okay, perfect.
Any question? Deanne, we can also do some role playing.
Perfect. Yeah.
Question first.
Okay, hang on. Let me just stop my share. Okay, tell me what you have in mind.
So with the golden eye treatment or the gold eye treatment versus the collagen eye treatment mask that we use, What is the difference?
For one thing, let me just grab one. Hang on. As far as overall care of what you're getting more out of the collagen that you use on the whole face. However, as far as drama and instant results that cause people to want to buy a serum, and convenience and cost, it's this. So this is, you know how when you do your collagen mask in the facial, you keep it wet with it, you put a towel over it to keep it moist?
Mhm.
You don't need to do that because this is very, very moist. There's so much fluid in here that she can, because she's the only one touching it, she can put her pads back in there and reuse it. Very moist. So what we do is we take a cotton pad with a toner, and on the tray is a toner and a cotton pad and your masks and the serum. Like, Mrs. Jones, what is it that you'd like to work on in your skin? Wrinkles. Okay, when you finish your treatment, I'm going to have you apply your lifting serum that can reduce the overall area of wrinkles by 40% in 54 days, and then your collagen. So on the tray is going to be my toner, my a little mirror, my toner, my iPad, some cotton pads, and those two serums. Now, I don't put anything underneath this because as I'm sitting up, it's so moist that it would start to move down. So all it is just the toner and throw it on. And then when she finishes her treatment, now she has looked in the mirror as you've discussed her skin and asked her what she wants to work on. She's looked in the mirror and she sees her wrinkles or fine lines, because some people may want to use it around their mouth instead. That's fine. And then when she finishes, after sitting there for an hour, she takes it off herself and she can put it back in here, and you can put a paper clip on it or something because she can reuse it. She takes it off herself, and then she applies her own lifting serum if that's what she needs, and then her collagen. And you just say, how would you like to get started with your skincare? You're going to sell serums like crazy. Now, and the beautiful thing of that is that, if it was dark circles, she could finish with use the professional soothing serum and then show her how to do some lymph drainage, but show her that the iPad, that the soothing serum comes with a roller ball. Now, right now, I can give you the soothing serum without a box in an organza baggie with iPad as a gift with purchase. So pretty dramatic. But I'll tell you, it's like you've had a Band-Aid on for 3 days when you take it off. The skin is just so smooth. It's pretty awesome. I've been known to drive in my car with these on my way to an important meeting. My husband won't allow it when he's driving, but I've done it when I'm driving myself. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, so yeah, they're great. They're they're not for the whole face, and I might eventually get them for the whole face because they're so effective. It's just they're super. And people like to take them home, and then they take this one home and then they get a free one if they buy a serum. Let's put it this way. If I said that I had a problem with wrinkles, and if I was going to buy my lifting serum, I would also get one of these for puffiness and dark circles and an iPad for free. Would I take that? Oh yeah. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. So it's just a matter of whether the spa wants to go down that path. Okay, role playing. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go ahead.
How much can you reuse the eye mask?
Say it again, hun.
How long can you reuse the?
How
Oh,
many times do you reuse the eye? Probably once.
oh, at home you could probably only reuse it once or twice. Yeah, they're not expensive. That's they're supposed to be one use, but you can reuse it once or twice. And you should leave it on at least 15 minutes, but up to an hour. You know, I've left mine on longer than an hour before as I'm moving around the house. But then when I had them here, they started to go, oh. I was wearing it on my collarbone. Yeah.
Why don't you ask questions for the girls about the touche, and then they can answer.
Okay, so
You pop quiz.
you want me to call their name and ask question?
Sure.
Okay.
See if they want to fail. Oh boy, Emmy's gonna fail.
You guys are so cute. Okay, Shelby, which product is food for the skin? Which serum did we say was food?
No, the caviar, I mean, the caviar or the collagen.
Yeah, the caviar and the collagen, especially the caviar, because that's the one with essential fatty acids, vitamins, minerals, protein, and the DNA from the salmon eggs. Okay, perfect.
Hey, I have a question about the caviar. Is it contraindicated for people with seafood allergies, or is it okay because it's applied topically?
I have a shellfish allergy, but if someone had an overall seafood allergy, I wouldn't use it.
Okay.
I'm very allergic to shellfish, and I don't have a problem with it at all.
Okay.
Okay, Taylor, which serum would I use for hyperpigmentation?
The lightning serum.
Okay, now is that going to just topically lighten the skin, or what else does it do?
I don't know. Yeah,
Say that.
it inhibits the melanocytes.
Yes, very good, very good. Okay. Sarah, which serum makes the skin look brighter, more invigorated?
I would say the lightning serum.
The lightning serum makes the skin look brighter, but what about invigorated?
The lifting serums, would that be?
Lifting serum, I was thinking of oxygen because it invigorates the microcirculation. And so the skin just looks so much more alive. Okay. Show me Shumi, is that how you say it? How I say it? Which of the serums helps to fight breakout?
Can be the oxygen.
Yeah. That was a trick question because we just did oxygen. So good job. Good job. Okay, Emmy. Emmy. Which of the serums has its masters in hydration?
Collagen.
Yay. Okay, and Kim, she back.
Yes.
Kim, Which of the serums, exfoliates?
Revitalizing.
Very good. Now, I want each of you to tell me which is your favorite for your use.
Okay, what, sorry?
So start with Shelby. What's your favorite for your use?
For my skin type, I would say Oxygen.
Okay, Oxygen. And Taylor?
I'd say Oxygen for myself as well.
Okay. And Sarah?
I would have to go with probably Oxygen or Lightning.
Okay. And Shumi?
Either Oxygen or Soothing.
And Emmy?
Can I have all?
You're so cute. Oh my gosh. I want to take her home.
No.
So cute. And Kim?
She's afternoon.
Wait, you didn't answer the question.
I said all.
Oh, jeez. Revitalizing collagen. I'm old.
Yeah, and what does that make me?
You're Brandy.
I'm Brandy. Yes, that's right. 7 grandkids. Love it.
And now, all my spa's children, they call me Auntie Graham now. I'm
Aw.
graduating to the grandma stage.
That's so cute. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about how we layer the serums into treatments. So again, when we do a treatment, it's really important to customize to the client's needs. When we start our conversation in our treatment, we do not lean over the client and start touching her face and talking to her like this. That's not okay. And I hope this is still part of your protocol. We take her hand and we massage her hand, and we're having a conversation with her face to face, eye to eye. Mrs. Jones, we're going to do I forget the names of your facials. We're going to do the basic facial on you today. And I just want to make sure that I customize it to meet your needs. Is there anything about your skin that you want to work on right now? And she says wrinkles and brown spots. Almost everybody says that. Okay, wrinkles and brown spots. With your permission, I'm going to take a really close look at your skin under the lamp. First with your makeup on and then on a clean skin. And with your permission, I'll customize the treatment to suit your needs. And then, so if wrinkles and brown spots are a challenge for you, what is it that you're hoping to achieve? Well, I'm hoping to have less wrinkles. My skin is smoother. I want it to age, more slowly. And I also have a few hyperpigmentation that I want to get rid of. Okay. If it's okay with you, when I finish the treatment, I'm going to write a prescription for how you can meet those needs. And that could be a combination of treatments and products. And then you can just take a look and see if any of that works for you. Is that okay with you? Is that offensive? No. Think about that. Are you actually, all of the things that we just talked about, are you actually meeting her needs, asking her what she cares about, and striving to provide what she needs? Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because you know what? It's not about whether or not she says yes. It's about whether or not you did everything you can to help her meet her needs. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And if she doesn't go to another spa to get to her needs met because she's still feeling hyperpigmentation or she's still not hydrated enough or whatever, then she's going to go on the internet. I need you to realize that the number one fraud in skincare is on the internet. And women are being pulled in with fear-based marketing, telling them that they're not good enough unless they buy the stuff. If I see one more 19-year-old on TV at night trying to sell me anti-aging skincare, I'm going to throw something. I mean, seriously, you know, it's a tiny girl. And she's like, oh, and my wrinkles are all gone. You know, and I'm like, if I didn't know better, I would think, oh, well, I don't look good enough. Oh, well, you know, what do I need to do to look better? You know, and it's all their ploy, just like the bliss point in food. Did you know that they studied cocaine addicts in order to see how the brain works? And they make food with just the right amount of sugar and salt and fat that your brain actually has a reaction and you become addicted to it and can't stop eating it. They do the same thing with advertising, but in a different way. They are fooling women into believing that they're not good enough unless they buy that stuff. Now, here's where you come in. If you, with all of your knowledge and with all the training that Emmy has given you on top of your training, with all of your knowledge and all of the tools that you have at your fingertips, if you analyze her skin and you set it up before anything happens, that you have permission to analyze her skin and to write her a prescription, nobody's going to say no. Because if I just said, yes, I'm concerned about wrinkles and hyperpigmentation. Yes, I would love to have those wrinkles go away. And I'd love to not have these ugly brown spots. Yeah, show me, customize my treatment. And then I say to you, is it okay if I write you a prescription? I'm not going to say no, because you've set it up to help me in every way. You've listened to me on level 3. You've repeated back to me what I just said I care about and what my needs are. You've shown me what you see in the mag. And a lot of times, when they say it's wrinkles and brown spots, I know that the first thing that needs to happen is exfoliation. We've got to take off the dead. Every time, if I take my nails and I scratch my face, under my fingernails are skin cells, and every spot that I've scratched, the skin gets really busy, because when you take off a dead skin cell, it spurs the birth of a new one. And if that blush is going on patch, 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 it's buildup of dead skin cells. Here's the skin, here's a wrinkle. There's 3 ways to work on a wrinkle. One is to plane down the sides, which is exfoliation. One is to plump it up, which is collagen hydrators. And the third is to regrow the collagen from the inside out. So maybe if she can only buy one thing, maybe that first thing is an exfoliant. And I often recommend that. We've got to take off the dead skin. Everything will look better. Your products will penetrate better. Your makeup will look better. So the bottom line is, if I listened to her, if I asked the question, made it clear that I was here to try and help her meet her goals, I find a need and I feel a need. And with Touche, one of the things that the Schumann family always says is target, tailor, treat. Target 1 or 2 things you're going to work on and provide high percentages of active ingredients that can treat the problem. Is that making any sense?
Yeah.
Is that feeling a little bit better with regards to writing a prescription?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's the thing, you know, we have made a decision to work on a fine property. Imagine that you were Mickey Mouse and you would go to Disneyland and you would enter the property underneath the grounds and you'd put on your Mickey Mouse outfit and you'd come up onto the property. The second you put your foot on the property, you'd better be Mickey Mouse, right? Can you imagine Mickey Mouse with PMS?
I always say that to the girls.
You? Oh, okay. Well, I just want you to know that's my story. I was training at Kingfisher Spa and the chef was in the front. This was an etiquette class and the chef was in the front row like this. Why do I need to be in an etiquette class? And I said that about Mickey Mouse and he goes, that would be Minnie Mouse. Thank you. No, it's true. I mean, can you imagine going to Cirque du Soleil and the athletes really weren't into it that day? That's not how it works. The second we step onto the property, we're part of the show. Everyone who walks in that door has bought tickets to your show. And you can do it because you will not be tired when you're staying present. You will not be tired when you're staying present. I'm telling you, it's the easiest thing in the world is to reach out to someone and say, how can I help you? And they might say, I'm here in a gift certificate. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk about my skin. Got it. And then you go, I don't want to talk about your skin either. No, you don't say that. No, seriously, I've had people, I've been a guest where we did a big event and I was the guest facialist and somebody had said, no, somebody bought this for me. I want to talk. Great. And I kind of think to myself, just in case you'd want to look a little better, let me know. But, we can't, and that's fine. They will make a decision. Again, if they have a bunch of creams that are from the drugstore that are not highly performing, and they're saying they want to use them up, tell them to use it on the part of their body that has seen a lot of sun. Those parts of the body need help. And they can use it up and they can save the good stuff for their face. I've had a lot of people say, okay, sure, I'll do that. So I know I'm going on and on and on about making a prescription. Do you have a prescription form? Because if you don't, I'll make you one.
We do.
Okay.
We do, but send us a new one and then Emmy can see if she needs to tweak hers.
Upgrade.
Well, send me what you have because I would have to customize it.
Okay.
Because we could lace both. We could lace Dr. Schwab, Touche, and Deborah Lippman in there. It just makes so much sense. I mean, if we ask somebody who's having a pedicure, is there anything about your feet you want to work on? They're going to say yes. It's not just about. I mean, I have to use marshmallow scrub on my feet in between pedicures. Otherwise my heels will not look good. I can't go, my polish still looks good, but my cuticles and my heels, I need to work on. So in between treatments, now here's the thing, I was in Nordstrom and I have the rights for Nordstrom for Oregon, Washington, and Canada for Deborah Lippman as well. And Maria and I were pulling people, this was before the pandemic, pulling people off of the aisle and doing everything in the cuticle lab on them. So we would do the remover and we wouldn't push back, but we would talk to them about the pusher and the oil. And we did a little tiny bit of marshmallow on the back of their hand. And then we did a hand massage. We sold, wait for it, $500 of cuticle lab in 3 hours. Why? Because we showed them how they can get that result at home. We also sold marshmallow. If you have time, if somebody's having a manicure and you do just a tiny bit of marshmallow on one of their hands, little circle, Don't use a lot because it'll be hard to get off. And show them the difference in the two hands. You'll sell a marshmallow. That stuff is magic. Yeah, you show them that when you put that cuticle the cuticle remover on, how fast, let them roll it off themselves and see how fast it helps to roll off their cuticles. And then of course the oil makes it just look beautiful. A little hand massage, it's magic. Those things sell like crazy. Any questions for me? No?
Our food is here. What time do you want to break back at, Dan?
Whatever time you want. How long do you need?
Half hour?
Yeah, let's do it.
So come back at say 12, well, our time, 12:20, your time probably 11:20, right?
Yeah, 11:20. I'll see you then.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
My pleasure.